We are the Creative Media Consulting Team, also known as CMCT. Today we are presenting our analysis of Dance Across Texas and social media platforms and how to make it more interactive to help their customer growth. My name is Eric Hester, and I'll be presenting the overall analysis and purpose of our report. Next we have Kylie Garrett, who will be presenting our primary research, followed by Veronica Ansures, who will be presenting our first half of our secondary research. And the second half of our secondary research will be, and also our findings and conclusions, will be presented by Tiva Alsafi. And after that, you'll hear from Swata Lara, who will inform you about our recommendations. Then lastly, I will conclude with a brief recap of our team's findings and key recommendations for Dance Across Texas. And now I'll begin with the overall analysis, purpose of our report. So we found that since their opening in 2015, spring of 2015, Dance Across Texas didn't have a strong social media presence, in which case this report was created to provide Dance Across Texas with recommendations for updating their business website, as well as utilizing multiple social media platforms to increase their existing customer base. And now I'll hand it off to Kylie.
Hi everyone, as Eric said, my name is Kylie Garrett, and I will be talking to you today about our primary research, the data collection and the data analysis. So as for all of us, we are currently customers of Dance Across Texas, and so we went in and first analyzed their social media platforms to see what was lacking or what we saw to be lacking from just our outward perspective. So this led us into creating or wanting to get a general understanding of what the population of St. Edwards looks for. So we surveyed the undergraduate, graduate, new college, student, or faculty and staff to see what their opinions were on social media, what they look for, and how, and to lead us into how we could help Dance Across Texas with their presence. So in our drafting of our 10 survey questions, we went through a two-step process where our first draft was sent out to our peers to get some sort of feedback on what we could focus in on or on how we could reword our questions. And then our second step was to hand it over to our instructor, to Michelle, in order for her to give us her feedback as well. And on our final draft, we distributed 300 total surveys. 300 surveys gave us a 95% confidence level. And of those 300, we got 294 as valid surveys, and 6 of which were invalid. What classified a survey as being invalid was it had to have had 3 of our questions either not answered at all or the instructions were not followed for that particular question. And now I'm going to hand it over to Veronica.
Thank you, Kylie. So as my partner mentioned, my name is Veronica, and today I will be presenting the first half of the secondary research. So according to an article posted by Aaron Smith, roughly 2/3 of the online adult population use social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter in order to stay connected with the outside world. So because of their heavy presence, it's important for businesses to keep their social media platforms up to date in order to stay relevant in the minds of consumers and keep their interest. So next, we've researched why Facebook and Instagram are the most popular social media networking sites. So it was determined, posted on an article by Easy Articles by Thea Tan, that Facebook was the most popular, not surprisingly. Facebook has an average users of 1.59 billion monthly active users, as many of us know, Facebook has no word limits, so users have the option to post either pictures, videos, also now they have the option to buy and sell things through a direct online free for sale page. Next, it was determined that Instagram was the second most popular. Unlike Facebook, Instagram has limited words, and they can only post pictures and videos. So that's one of the drawbacks on Instagram. But regardless, Facebook and Instagram were the 2 popular social media networking sites. For this part of our research, we focused on how to create an effective social media networking page. So creating a perfect website, it attracts and retains an audience of loyal customers and clients. So it's important for a business to have an attractive and appealing Facebook page or Instagram page. Creative CMCT He referred to an article posted by Amy Parsons to gain insights on the most effective ways that successful companies are using these social media networking platforms. These were our findings here on the bullet points. So the first thing we noticed was that businesses should integrate themselves more into their social media pages. By integrating more themselves, it means having less informative posts. Informative posts can sometimes be boring and bland. In order to keep your clientele, it's important to have interesting and engaging posts that make the customers feel like they're communicating with their friends and family on social media instead of a business. This ties along with the next bullet point, which is having more interaction with customers. The third bullet point, refraining from using advertisement-like posts. Ads on Facebook are like commercials on TV, and having an excess of ads can seem very irritating to a customer if you have an excess amount. So if a company must have an ad, it's important to keep them limited. And the final finding was limiting posts to about 24 times a month. By limiting your posts, you're not bombarding consumers. Bombarding consumers, sometimes if you bombard them too much, they'll have a lack of interest in your social media page. So now I'll pass it off to my partner, Tiva.
Thank you, Veronica. I'll be talking about additional information about secondary research, and more specifically about Yelp and Google reviews. So according to Vendesta Technologies, we found out that more than 89 million users a month have been reported to use review local businesses, and also our research shows that the Yelp leave reviews to help others in the community make purchasing decisions. Research shows that 92% of consumers now read online research before purchasing, and it might be a time for small businesses to start caring about what is said online, and more specifically about Yelp, because it's the most used review website. For Google is often the first point of contact between a customer and a business. So through Google Review, individuals can see other users' ratings and numbers of reviews. And in addition, they can also see a brief summaries of the latest reviews with, in addition to information about the business location, hours of operation, and a phone number. So consumers use Google to compare businesses according to people's reviews and experiences. Now that I concluded our secondary research, I'll move on to talk about findings and conclusion. For our primary findings, the majority of the survey population selected Facebook and Instagram as their top social media platforms, as well as Yelp reviews in terms of review websites. 57% of undergraduate students said that they use social media for 2 to 3 hours a day. And when looking at business website layout, the 2 top things people look for are the pictures and the offers. So 58% of undergraduate and 40% of graduate student look for pictures from businesses, while 20% of undergraduate and 29 graduate students look at offers. Also, we found that 183 of people surveyed answered that they follow business for entertainment purposes, and 175 our survey population said that they're influenced by business interaction with the customers. For our secondary research findings, research shows that most major companies post 24 times a month, and consumers often have negative reactions toward brazen advertisements. Also, statistics show that social media allows a business to engage with their customers, which could ultimately lead to more traffic, website traffic. In conclusion, social media allows a business to get to know their customers and find out what they think about their company. I'll hand it off to Swara.
Thank you, Tiva. As my colleague mentioned, my name is Svana, and today I will be talking to you about our recommendations. Our first recommendation for Dance Across Texas is to keep their Facebook account up to date. Dance Across Texas can do this by hosting upcoming events. An example of an upcoming event would be Randy Rogers playing a concert
Google search. And under the description, they could put the time and the cost of the concert, and as well as any specials that could be going on that night, such as buying a drink and getting one for free. Another recommendation through Facebook is for Dance Across Texas to enable its check-in services. We have included a how-to on our business report, and it can also be found in the Facebook FAQ. But what the check-in feature allows customers to do is to check in when they're at Dance Across Texas and share that location with any friends and families through Facebook. And by doing so, Dance Across Texas can increase their potential customer base. Our next recommendation would be for Dance Across Texas to update their Instagram account. Dance Across Texas can do this by uploading a post of a picture of any specials. An example would be Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is rolling around the corner, so Dance Across Texas could do a special of $2 drinks, no cover charge, and they can add that to their description. Through Instagram, they could also do contests, and I use the example of the Randy Rogers concert. So the contest would be for the first 10 followers to share the event. They would win the first 10 followers to share the event will win free tickets to the concert, and Dance Across Texas can access the information of the first 10 individuals to share this information through the heart icon on the app, and it will give them the customers that shared it in chronological order, and that's how they'll send them their free tickets. Our next recommendation is for Dance Across Texas to check Yelp reviews and Google review web pages. By doing so, Dance Across Texas increases the interaction with their customers, and they're able to see if they are having any issues with their staff or drinks or charges that customers do not like, and that will increase customer satisfaction, and in turn it will bring customer loyalty. Next, we recommend that Dance Across Texas updates their business website. They can do this by changing the layout of the website, and it will make it more visually appealing to the viewer, and it'll make it easier to navigate. Lastly, our next recommendation is for Dance Across Texas to hire a marketing intern. Hiring a marketing intern gives Dance Across Texas the ability to hand off the job of specializing on keeping social media platforms up to date, and Dance Across Texas can gain access to marketing interns through the use of St. Edward's Career Services. They can contact Andrew Harper at andrewh@stedwards.edu, and they can get in contact with him. They can get in contact with him to be able to post their job on the St. Edward's website. And now I'll hand it back over to Eric.
Thank you, Swata. All right. To conclude our presentation, based on the information given from Kylie, Veronica, and Tiba on data analysis and collections, we had 294 valid surveys, which consisted of graduates, undergraduates, and faculty. We concluded from that social media is a necessary outlet for companies to use and to expand and maintain customer base. With the help of our secondary research presented from Veronica and Tiba, we found out that other companies have run into this problem but have been able to fix it to become more successful. Therefore, we based our recommendations off those other companies. As Swata stated, our recommendations are to enforce better social media effectiveness for platforms used by Dance Across Texas. And we feel that Dance Across Texas customer base will grow and benefit from keeping their Facebook and Instagram accounts up to date by frequently posting about promotions, giveaways, and they will also benefit if they increase their online customer interaction. So this is it. We hope our research will help Dance Across Texas in the future, and we appreciate your time. Thank you. We'll leave it open to any questions.
Clearly, keeping Facebook and Instagram up to date is important.
Right.
But what does that mean exactly? How many times should they be posting, updating? What?
Well, as we said earlier, it's like usually major companies on things, they post about 24 times a day, correct?
Nope.
A month, not a day. I'm
Not
sorry.
a day.
A month. I was thinking
24
hours.
times
So-
a month.
A month.
What does that include?
Keeping it up to date would be including like pictures of offers or pictures of giveaways, things like that, in order for a customer to be able to see it on their Facebook page, and their eyes are more drawn to it. So if they do this at least 24 times, well, at most 24 times a month, then their customers are more willing to be like, oh yeah, that's right, this is going on, and they're more willing to share it that way.
Were there times to do that, or people were more drawn to looking at Facebook and Instagram for those type of things?
Like
or-
a time in the day.
With the new
Mhm.
Facebook, there's a new Facebook update that if you haven't, it lets you refresh your media page, but if you haven't seen a certain post for a business in particular, it keeps it on the very top of your news feed. So that's a new Facebook feature. Instagram, there's not a really specific time on Instagram because times can vary. So it just depends on what the businesses would think is the best. Like if there's a Randy Rogers concert, you know, it just depends on what event or what day would better gain entrance to those customers.
There's also a push notification that Instagram started
Okay.
where you can have push notifications sent to your phone on when a particular person that you're following updates.
Okay.
So if somebody wanted to, or if a customer wanted to, they could subscribe to following or getting the push notifications for Dance Across Texas, and so they'd immediately get updated every time they posted.
Neat. Cool. Very good.
Any other questions? No? All right. Thank
Very
you.
nice. Thank you.